Okay. Well, I tried to make this 52 minutes of 5200, but my time is valuable. I'm sure your time is valuable. I tried to speed up these little clips as much as I could and weed out all the dead spots. But here is 42 minutes of activity, let's just say. There's not a dull moment. Here I am just wiping down with acetone. That surface has been 36 grit. It is just bare fiberglass. Abraded with 36 grit. Mostly a DA. I'm also wiping down that stainless steel engine bed. That has also been abraded with 36 grit. And wiped down several times with lacquer thinner to remove any wax or grease, other impurities. Forgive the shaky GoPro. This is, I think it's a Hero 3. I'm just amazed it still works, considering the way GoPro tries to make old products obsolete. Oh yeah, by the way, it is very hot the day this was recorded. Had to be high 90s. Brutal. It did seem to speed up the way that 5200 was skinning over. There I just opened the tube with the scissors. I like to open that with a little foil that you gotta punch. I try and open it as large as possible just so that it can flow right through without blowing out the sides. We did have a run of 5200. We were blowing the sides out of the tubes. And that is a mess. I have to say, 5200 can be messy, but when it blows out the side of a cartridge, it's real messy. We ended up just wrapping them with tape before we used them. It did work. Here we go. I ended up using a total of 8 tubes for both engine beds, or for all the engine beds, I'm sorry. 8 tubes total. This one will get 2 and a partial, and then I'll just burn it up on the other side, 2 more. Right here you're gonna see, I don't cut a new tip every time. I just remove the one I just used, thread it right onto that tube that was just opened, cartridge that was just opened. Pop the tin off the back, unless it already was. It's aluminum. Slap it in. Keep going. And you'll see here, I'm recording this at the same speed it was, or I'm playing this back at the same speed it was recorded. I will speed a lot of the clips up after this. I just wanted everyone to see how much 5200 we use. It's one of those things, we use it generously, and that stuff is expensive now. I think they're going about $39.99 retail, a tube cartridge. You can get them for like 21 bucks on Amazon, I think. I remember back when I was young, they used to call it 52 million because it cost $10 a tube. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, it is hot. Damn, it's hot. Get as much fan as I can get going there. Alright, cracked into another one. I pierced it with the scissors. I'll use anything. Screwdriver usually works best. 1/4 inch flat screwdriver. And I'll swap that tube over, or that tip over. Swap the tip. Ditch the old one and slap another cartridge in. Forgot to pull the cap off the end. That'll slow you down. Now, if you're not familiar with 5200, it is basically industry standard for a permanent bond. It works great for, well, it works great for bonding stainless steel engine beds, but we also use it where, number one, you want something that is not going to come loose without a lot of effort. You can break it loose eventually. Usually it requires a heat gun and a lot of prying and wedging. But the only thing I have ever seen that actually breaks 5200 down is, believe it or not, hydraulic oil from steering systems. I've seen leaks, and at the bottom of a leak where a puddle forms, if there is a 5200 joint, it's deteriorated. But of course that takes a very long time. Here I'm squeegeeing out all those beads that I ran across there. I'm trying to make a uniform thickness so that when I press this down, there's no air pockets that have to squish out too. This does help eliminate the air bubbles that will continue to squeeze out of an edge. And here we go. Let's pop this sumbitch on. There we go. Now there's 2 screw holes on the top, front and back. Those are mostly just for this, for alignment. And I will crank them down. They'll put a little bit of pressure squeezing down on the top, but they're mainly for alignment. I did not have my impact handy, so I found a screwdriver. All right. Now, the tongue depressor I learned from one fella, but bedding bolts properly I learned from Cap. Cap happens to be the captain of this boat, and I've worked with him for, man, I think we're going on 12 years, 15 years. I don't remember how long it's been. But I've learned that stainless steel will rust if it's not bedded properly. And this, in my opinion, is bedding stainless steel properly. I took techniques that I've learned, adapted them to his wishes, and kind of came up with that. The thing is, salt can. Well, yep, we used 2 tubes. I'm chatting with another fella working on the boat.
Not with me and you still here. But they better repower with Volvos. I don't want to. This guy has to take it apart. No way. 25 years from now, they better put Volvos back in it.
Now, Volvos do make the most sense to me for this boat.
Yeah. You could adapt it to something else if you had to. To me, it's the only engine that makes sense. They keep shoehorning them big B-series Cummins in and all that shit. They fit, but doesn't make sense.
Whatever. There's a lot of people that are going to disagree with me on that, and leave comments below. I'd be happy to entertain your opinion. B-series are very large. They're also not much weight savings compared to what we got as far as the D4, but they, as from what I've seen, the installations make the shaft angle worse than the standard 15 degree, or they're stuck with 15 degree. My phone's ringing in the background there. That's funny. That back bolt was giving me trouble, but I got it.
That's 2 tubes?
2 tubes.
Wait till I start squeezing on these things. We're gonna have a mess like you ain't never seen.
Man, I'm sweating just watching myself.
We're gonna make a mess. Make that way, bro. That man loves 5200. That man loves 5200. He did teach me how to bed him like this. I never would have done shit like that with those heads. Kind of I've adapted his wishes and my experience together. Okay.
Now those were all dry fit. Those didn't just fall in place by accident. Another thing I learned from Cap, we dry fit everything. Don't usually have any surprises that way. It just tends to go really smoothly.
This right here, Roger, this little tongue pressure cut off straight. That's my secret weapon. Learned this from a guy at Windy. He didn't do it like this, but he used to use this for all his caulking. And he'd clean up all his caulking with a little tongue pressure like this. And he cut like 50 of them, have a pile of them, just throw away. Just like toothpicks, man, you gotta stack up just in there.
I am using a tongue depressor that's cut straight on one end. And it's like a miniature putty knife. And until you actually put one to use, you don't realize how valuable that little stick is. Right now I'm just kind of buttering the bolts, packing it into the threads. And now we're gonna start tightening these things down, seeing what kind of squeeze out we get.
My neighbor, he says this every single time. Every time we talk about it, he goes, man, I get that shit on me, just order it on the go. Just start talking about it and I got it on me.
That is true.
There you go. Now we're doing something? Now you're getting to do something? Let it sit for a minute.
The biggest thing with tightening any bolts through fiberglass, I've seen so many times bolts are cranked down with like an impact or something that just fractures the glass, and you see it a lot. You'll pull engine bolts out and it's a white ring of just fractured fiberglass. You can over tighten fiberglass and break it. Once you fracture it, it has very little strength, really. The key is to snug these up good and tight. Right now I'm allowing the sealant to squeeze find its way out, and I'll go back and tighten everything again. But the key is not to over tighten the bolts. If you hear a pop, you've over tightened. You've cracked something. I guess it's something you learn over time, but it's just it's something most people probably don't know. You can break the fiberglass. You really should just be real easy with it. Just good and tight. I use a breaker bar. You'll see that, but I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it.
One thing I do know, and overnight, all the engine bolts I see on outboards, almost all the engine bolts are cracked fiberglass. When they take an impact, when you tighten them down, engine bolts down on the impact, you can't do that. I mean, they do it all the time. You hear, crack. When like stainless steel is falling out of whack, they get popped up. Oh, they call it, yeah, you get out of here. Take it out of whack. But I'm talking about, it may be, those guys used to set bolts through things all the time. I mean, like, you can't put a 150 pound football foot pounds worth of air impact on a half-inch bolt. A little half-inch washer on the inside. Oh, you gotta see. You gotta see the 200 coming out the inside of this thing.
As the 5200 squeezes out, I'll go back and tighten those again, and the first little bit will turn pretty easy as the 5200 finds its way out. I think I'm about done at that point. I really don't go much further than that. It's good and snug.
Just getting warmed up, buddy. Coming out everywhere. Yeah, well, I gotta show Wayne. He's gotta do what's called visual inspection here. Got Wayne, you proud? That, yeah, that's $5 right there. That's $5 right there. Damn it, man, put it back in the tube. I don't know if we got a break for this. Well, if I was going fast enough, I could squirt it on the other side there. Just keep going, but it's gonna take me 25 minutes to clean this fucking mess up. You gotta see on the inside. Yeah, it takes time to clean it, too, though. Or you can have a really big mess.
Yeah, that battery did die when I was doing the starboard side. We got it charged back up, and I think it's got enough battery life to finish this whole side. I'm wiping down with acetone. Mainly just to get rid of any dust. Dust is the enemy of adhesion. Yeah, I take that very seriously. These have been prepped with 36 grit grinding discs. And as I picked up that rag, I got 5200 on me. That stuff just jumps. Those bolts are 316 stainless. I'm not 100% sure what the difference between 316 and 308 and all the numbers mean. I know some means it's more corrosion resistant, some means it's stronger. They're different alloys. I just don't, for some reason, I can't remember the difference between them. 316, 308, 304. I pierced that tube again. Seems all I could find was my scissors. But the point is to open that hole as big as possible. That was wiped down with acetone. And we're gonna dump 2 more tubes on this thing. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up on the video. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel and click on that bell icon for notifications if you want to know when we put out new content. I'm reusing that same tube I started with probably a couple hours ago. That is a high-speed cough. I'm not sure what got me, but that's a high-speed cough. And there's just another way to apply 5200 to the head of the bolt and then the flat washer all in one kind of swoop. Here I'm just squeegeeing, smearing the 5200 into an even layer so that air pockets don't form when I flip this thing over. And here we go. Drop it in. I ended up a little bit too far forward and had to slide it back. Not a real big deal, but I did have to caulk the back where I would have expected more squeeze out. Those are latex gloves. Somebody asked me about that. I use them. They're powdered latex gloves. They work really, really good with acetone. Lacquer thinner eats them up. Mineral spirits does eventually. But usually I'll just peel them off and throw them away before they start to deteriorate. They're inexpensive compared to nitrile. Just in case anyone was wondering. Powdered latex. Oh man, drop that sumbitch. What a mess. Ditch those gloves. That was purely for the sound effects, by the way. Here I'm applying just a small amount of sealant on the threads. What I will do next is, as I slide the flat washer on, I try to rotate the washer so that it gets an even film and has a layer of 5200 around the entire surface, so there's no area that does not have sealant in contact with the surface it's mating up against. Drop the damn nut. We'll find it. This is mineral spirits. I'm squirting on the rag. At this point, I'm just cleaning my hands, so I don't have to swap my gloves real quick. Just to clarify, the point is not to waste a bunch of 5200 and smear it on and pull it off and throw it away. The point is to ensure that 100% of the surface underneath that plate is completely covered in sealant, with no air gaps and nowhere for salt water or any other water to get trapped and start corrosion. Now I'm going to use this squeegee to get the bulk of the squeeze out. I'm just wiping it off into that rag, which will get thrown away. See that big droop? It's hard to see because it's white on white, but there's a big drip right there. There, you can see it. I haven't sprayed any mineral spirits on there yet. I will eventually. Again, as I had to slide that back, some of the caulking was kind of misplaced. I had to go back and run a bead around it, which normally would have had squeeze out there. Now I'm just going to pull my finger down that edge, create a small fillet. I'm still what I call dry wiping, no solvent on the rag. You'll see as soon as I add mineral spirits, everything becomes pretty thin, a little bit runny. You gotta try it to see how it works, but this was working efficiently. It was getting a lot of the bulk off. And if you like what we're doing, click that subscribe button. I'm just wiping down the nuts on the opposite side. Still haven't sprayed any mineral spirits yet. This is just a dry rag. It was hot. Damn, it was hot. I'm not sure where the hell I just went. I think I went to get some water. At this point, everything was kind of set. It was just minor cleanup.
Okay. Over here goes. Go around middle spirits. Let's squirt it. Middle spirits it.
Now I'm wiping down with mineral spirits on the rag, and I'll fold the rag upon itself as I wipe down. This just allows you to keep going. Still wiping down with mineral spirits, just sprayed lightly on that rag. It does a wonderful job of cleaning up. I don't drown the 5200 beads that are left behind. I just do a light wipe down. And that's pretty much wrapping it up. That's gonna going to be 42 minutes of 5200. I really hope y'all enjoy it. Any questions, comments, feel free to drop those down below. That is some shit right there. Not sure what happened, but it... These are the final after cleanup. These are all going to get painted, so we're still going to high build prime those outboard ones that are bare. We're just not to that point yet. Those are not coming out anytime soon. And if you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, maybe share with a friend, and I'll keep doing it. Thank you.